Hello everybody. Today we'll be looking at session 3, that is project scheduling. Let's look at the session's objectives. Now for today we'll learn how to define a project calendar. We'll also be in a position to describe how to set calendar options and working times, describe how to choose the right calendar, describe how to work with task calendars, explain the use of resource calendars, describe how to create custom calendar templates, explain how to copy calendars to other projects. Let's get started. Introduction. A project manager schedules and manages projects using calendars focusing on the tasks of the day, and calendars help to identify the resources working on tasks, whether there is any schedule or effort variance, and whether there are any pending tasks to be completed. Accordingly, project managers can schedule tasks using resources for successful completion of a project. Now we want to learn how to define a project calendar. And MS Project 2010 provides you the following 3 types of calendars. We have the base calendar. This is the default calendar. Then we have one which you create for your resources and one that you can create for the tasks at hand. We start by looking at the base calendar. Now, this calendar is also known as the standard calendar and is the basic calendar that is used for all scheduling calculations in MS Project. All other calendars are basically built upon the base calendar. To configure the calendar settings for a project, on the Project tab in the Properties group, you click Change Working Time. The Change Working Time dialog box facilitates a user to select either a calendar or a resource from the For Calendar drop-down list. The Create New Calendar button provides options whether to create a new base calendar or copy from existing calendars. Clicking the day to see its working time section displays a calendar. The Legend section on the left displays the color codes for working and non-working times, exception days, and non-default work week. Let's look at this very quickly. I have project open. I'll go to the Project tab. In the Properties box, you click on Change Working Time, and this is the dialog box they are talking about. There's this button used to create a new calendar. We have the legend showing you working, non-working, edited working hours, exception days, and non-default work weeks, exceptions tab, and we have the work weeks tab. If you would like to see the default work hours on a given day, you basically click on the details, and Monday you can see it gives you the hours, working hours. Usually this is 8 to 12, then from lunch to 5 in the evening. I'm going to cancel out of this. We'll use an actual project to see this. So cancel out of this as well. We move on. Okay, we've seen this. Base calendar. Now to add exceptions to the calendar, you perform the following steps. In the table on the exceptions tab, in the change working time dialog box, enter the name of the exception setting in the name box. Enter the start and finish dates for which the exception day and work hours need to be configured. And after entering the exception data, select the row and click details. This opens the details dialog box where one can specify the non-working and working hours. Click non-working to specify the day as a full holiday. For example, for the anniversary day exception, the entire day would be non-working. Select appropriate recurrence pattern, for example, yearly in the current scenario. Then click on OK to close the exception details dialog box. Okay, let's open a project we have been working on. You remember the template we downloaded online, the one for software management project. Click on File. Then from the File tab, you can go to the recent projects. We'll click on this and then it opens. We'll go to the change working time. We want to Now we want to set Monday, 1st of June as a public holiday. It is a public holiday in our country. What we do is you click this drop down arrow here to go to the next month. Then in exceptions, make sure you select the day you want to set as a holiday. Then, so under exceptions, you come in the name and you call this is called Madaraka Day, 1st of June. Then click on start. So it starts on that day. It's actually the entire day. Then details. So it is non-working and this is a yearly event. So in the recurrence pattern section, in the details for the given holiday, you select the recurrence pattern, and of course make sure you select that this is non-working. So range of recurrence, so you can specify, but this is something we do every year. So this is on 1st of June. Then click on OK. Then click on OK. And that is set as a holiday. We move on. To configure work weeks, you perform the following steps. Now you notice there were two tabs. There was one for exceptions, the other one was for work weeks. So perform the following steps. On the work weeks tab, in the change working time dialog box, enter a name for this setting in the name box. Then you enter when it's going to start and finish. Click the details to select a day to configure its work hours, its from and to hours, and options to select either use project default set times for these days or set days to non-working time or set days to these specific times. Click OK to choose the details dialog box. The option button in the change working dialog box opens the project options dialog box. We'll get something like this. Now, assuming that we would like to make up for that day we lost on Friday, on that Monday, the following Saturday, we'll see how to do that very quickly. So please switch back to MS Projects. Now, inside MS Project, come here and click on Change Working Time. So this, we go back, remember it's June, okay? So this is an exception day. We didn't work. We want to make up on the 6th, which will be on a Saturday. Now click on this day, then come down here. So select work week. So come here, name, you type in makeup day, day. People can work for half day starting from 4 hours. So it's going to start the same day, 6th of June this year, and click on the details. So this is on a Saturday. Then set day to these specific working times. We're going to start working at 9 in the morning. So that is 900 hours. 9 to, we're going to stop working at 1. Then click on OK. Then if you click on any other day, you'll notice that the color has changed to this yellow, meaning that this is a non-default work week. So people are expected to report on Saturday to make up for the time we lost on Monday. Once you are content with the changes, you click on OK, and we move on. Resource calendar. Now, users can specify work hours and work days for a specific project resource, and resource calendars are calendars to customize for specific scheduling requirements for individual resource groups. Users can modify these settings in the resource information dialog box for an individual resource or for a resource group. Now, I'm quite sure you might be wondering, what is this thing we're calling a resource? A resource can be HR, that is human resource for the people who are working. It could also be something like machinery, that is earth moving equipment if you're doing road construction. It could be cranes if you're doing a building project or any other resource that you're using in your project. We move right on. Now, to modify the settings for a resource calendar, you perform the following steps. So select the resource tab present in the ribbon and click on the top part of the team planner option. You select the resource or resource group for which work days or work times need to be configured and click the details options in the properties section on the resource tab. Click change working time in the resource information dialog box to display options for configuring work times and work days for the selected resource. And this is what we are going to get for that software project. Okay, I'll switch there very quickly. Now, to get to the resource planner, there are many ways you can go about it. You can click on view, then you select team planner. Okay, you can also click on the resource, the team planner down here gets you to the same view. Now, once you're in the team planner, we switch back to the resource view. Then from here, we want to view information maybe about a certain group of resources. We could maybe have developers, testers, or trainers. We want maybe the training to be conducted on a given time. So to do this, what you'll do is click on information. Then from here, in the general tab, make sure you click on change working time. Then you can select why it is that you'd like these people. Let's say it's the second week of June. I'll come here, select the second week of June. So I'll highlight these days, then come to work week. I can come here and change this maybe to bootcamp. So it's going to start on 8th all the way to 12th, since I had already highlighted that. Then I can select the details. So it is from Monday all the way to Friday. Monday, hold down your shift key, click on Friday. I want to set the specific working times. I'll remove what is already there. Tap on the delete key to remove. I want these people to work from 9 to 1, then from 2 to 4. 900 hours to 1300 hours. Then 1 hour lunch break, 14, press tab. Then this should be 17. Then click on OK. Then click OK to close the dialog box, and click OK to close the resource information dialog box. Okay, now task calendar. Now, similar to a resource calendar, a task calendar can be used to create calendars with specific scheduling requirements for a particular task, and steps to create a new calendar for the task schedule are given below. Number 1, on the project tab, you click the change working time dialog box. To display the change working time dialog box, click on the create new calendar button to create a new weekly calendar, weekly client meetings. The new calendar can be a copy of an existing calendar or a new base calendar. Click OK to create the new calendar and return to the change working time dialog box. Then click the work weeks tabs on this dialog box and select the row in the table with the default schedule for the calendar. Click the details button to specify the work days and time for tasks in this calendar. From the select days, you select Thursday as the day on which the weekly meetings will be scheduled. Select set days to this specific working times option and specify the meeting hours as 1900 hours to 2100 hours. Okay, now this could be a bit inconvenient for, especially after you had a long day. Maybe we could set it to something like over lunch, or maybe immediately after office hours from 5:30 to 6:30 on Thursdays. Let's do that very quickly. I'll switch over to MS Project. Then I switch over to back to Gantt chart. I'll collapse everything here. Add a new task. So weekly client meeting. Okay. After that, I go to the project, then change working time. For calendar, I'll click create new calendar and I'll call this weekly client meeting. Make a copy of the standard calendar, no problem. Click on OK. Then after that, I want to specify the work week. We can remove those things which we don't need, delete. Then here we type in what it is that we want, or even maybe here. So the meetings will be on a Thursday. Set these days to, so we come here, we remove this, everything that is there. We've said from 5:30 to 6:30. That will be 17:30. Press tab, good. It already figures that out for us. Click on OK. Then click on OK. Now, once we do that, we right click on this task, then click on its information. We get this task information dialog box. Go to the advanced tab. From the advanced tab, you select the calendar down here, none. Click on this drop down, then you select the calendar which you would like to have. Then click on OK. And you notice we have a small task here telling you that the calendar weekly client meeting is assigned to this specific task. Okay, we move on. Okay, we've already done this. So the new task calendar needs to be assigned this task. Okay, we have already done this and we can move right on. Now, project calendar options. A project manager when scheduling tasks should set working times depending on the complexity of the project, timelines, resources, and budget. An MS project provides calendars and work hours for scheduling tasks by setting calendar options and customizing work hours. When creating tasks and assigning resources, MS Project 2010 schedules tasks based on the standard calendar. And by default, according to MS Project, one workday has 8 hours. You noticed in the default option, it was starting from 8 to 12, that is 4 hours. Then 1 hour lunch break from 12 to 1. Then from 1 to 5. Those are 8 hours. Now, a project manager should also check working time and make sure that any specific non-working days are updated for the project. Adjusting project calendar options. Now, to modify the calendar options, click the File tab and select options from the Backstage view. This displays the project options dialog box. And here, from the options in the left pane, talking about this, you select the schedule. The same settings are displayed by clicking options in the change working time dialog box. And the following figure depicts an example of adjusting the calendar options. Now, there's some places where they start, like here, you can see the default, the week starts on Sunday, and physical year starts in January. So you can change some of these options. I'll click on File, then Options, then click on Schedule. Week starts on, can set this to Monday. Maybe there are some companies whose physical year starts in March. Maybe you can set it to that, or whichever that applies in your organization. Then you click on OK. Now I don't want to tamper with this. I'm going to cancel out of that. But if this is your schedule in your company, be sure to click on OK. I'll cancel. We move on. Okay, so we have seen this. Click on OK to save the calendar settings. Now, setting schedule options. Managers can specify custom scheduling options depending on the project needs, and after configuring the project calendar to the project requirements, the next step is to specify the scheduling options. Scheduling options can be specified as follows. You click on the project information option from the project tab and set the project calendar. You enter the start date of the project if the project is scheduled from a specific date to start, or basically you enter the end date if the project has to be completed on a specific end date. Select the current date, which by default displays the computer clock setting that can be modified by the user. Optionally, you can specify a status date. Now, this status date helps the project manager to track progress of the project on that particular date. You specify the value for a priority box, and priority is useful if multiple projects that are linked among each other exist in an organization. Let's look at an example. We are constructing a road, and there are some places where we need to construct bridges. So that bridge is a separate project on its own. So that is what we are talking about here. We move on. So let's see how this works, although we did this in the introductory session when we were setting the project dates. So go back to project. Now, to get the project information, you make sure you're in the project tab and then click on project information from the properties tab. Now we have this, and our project is scheduled from a start date. If you want to schedule from the end date, you click on the schedule from, then project finish date, and you notice now start date becomes grayed out and finish date becomes available. So make sure you schedule correctly depending on your project needs. Then maybe you want to schedule from the project end date. You can click here, finish date, and check the date of the last task. So this is 15th, this should be okay. You can set a priority, either increase this or reduce this, and then click on the OK button. We move on. Now, creating a custom calendar. Now, MS Project-based calendars don't have any holidays marked up. And for accurate scheduling tasks, including details such as organization-specific holidays, it is suggested to create custom calendars for project. To create a custom calendar, you perform the following steps. The first one, on the project tab in the ribbon, click Change Working Time to display the Change Working Time dialog box. In this dialog box, you click Create New Calendar button in the top right corner. This displays the Create New Base Calendar dialog box. Here you enter SSU Standard Calendar as the name of the custom calendar in the name box. Click on OK to create the custom calendar. Finally, click OK in the Change Working dialog box to save the configuration to the custom calendar. And this is what you're supposed to have. Let's do this very quickly. Go back to project. Then we switch back to, now we're in the correct tab, and properties group change working time button. We want to create a new calendar. Click on this, and this is a copy of the standard, or you can create a new base calendar. Give this a name. We are calling it SSU Standard Calendar. SSU underscore standard then click on OK. Now, May 1st every year is actually a public holiday. It's Labor Day, and this is an international holiday. We can add that very quickly. We can click on Friday 1st, name. We call this Labor Day. Then click that, and we can accept the default values. It's going to take the whole day. Set working times for, so this is non-working, and yeah, this is okay. Then click on OK, and we set that. We move right on. Sharing calendars. Now, calendars can be shared across all projects using the Organizer feature in MS Project 2010. Organizer is the control center for custom calendars in project files, and managers can copy custom calendars into a global template. That is the global.mpt. MPT is Microsoft Project Template, and the settings and customizations available in this template will be available across all the project. This method is especially useful when all project managers in a company use a consistent calendar across all projects. Let's say we want to share that one for the SSU. I'll open another file, maybe the one we were working on for the website, recent. Then come here and click on this one, the website project. I want to share that calendar across everything. We switch back, software development plan. We go to file, then click on, make sure you're in the information section, then click on organizer. Now we want to copy calendars, so please click on the calendars tab. And we want this SSU standard calendar. I'll click on it, then click on copy if you want to keep it. And now anything which is in the global MPT Microsoft project template will be available to all the projects in your organization. Now I don't want to change the template, so I can click on this and click on delete. That is also how you remove. So click on yes to confirm and close the organizer, and you can go right back. We move on. So we have this. Now we've come to the end of the session. So let's look at what it is we have learned in this session. Now, calendars help you to schedule tasks and resources efficiently and to track their progress. MS Project 2010 provides 3 types of calendars, namely base calendar, 2 resource calendar, and task calendar. The base calendar or the standard calendar is the basic calendar template with a 5-day week from Monday to Friday and 8 working hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 2 additional templates available for scheduling based on organization or project work times are 24-hour and night shift. Project managers can specify any of the calendar templates and configure the work weeks and hours according to the project and organization requirements. Project managers can configure scheduling requirements for a specific project resource or task in the resource calendar and task calendar, respectively. Project managers can create as well as share custom calendars across multiple projects. Nice time. God bless and see you in the next session.